Who really makes money from the FIFA World Cup 2026? Right now, billions of people around the world are watching the FIFA World Cup 2026. They are watching goals. They are watching celebrations. They are watching underdogs defeat giants. They are watching history unfold. But while fans are focused on what happens on the pitch, something much bigger is happening behind the scenes. Money is moving. A lot of money. Industry estimates suggest the 2026 FIFA World Cup could generate around $11 billion in revenue, making it the most commercially successful World Cup ever. That is more money than the annual economic output of dozens of countries. The World Cup is often called the beautiful game, but behind the spectacle sits one of the most powerful commercial machines ever created. Broadcasters pay billions. Sponsors pay billions. Fans spend billions. Governments spend billions. And at the center of it all sits one organization, FIFA. So today we are asking a simple question. Who really makes money from the World Cup? Welcome to the Money Trail. Let us follow it. If this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is about one thing: connecting the dots between money, power, and the decisions that shape your world. No jargon, no agenda, just clear research-backed analysis that tells you the story behind the money. Now let us get into it. To understand the money, we first need to understand the scale. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is unlike any tournament before it. For the first time in history, 48 nations are competing. The tournament has expanded from 64 matches to 104. 16 cities across the United States, Canada, and Mexico are hosting games. Nearly 7 million fans are expected to attend in person. Hundreds of millions more will watch from around the world. This is not just a sporting event. It is a global business operation. And every expansion means one thing: more money. But the World Cup was not always a multi-billion-dollar machine. The first FIFA World Cup took place in Uruguay in 1930. Only 13 teams participated. There were no billion-dollar television contracts, no global sponsors, no luxury hospitality packages. Many teams had to travel by ship for weeks just to participate. Back then, the tournament was primarily about football. Today, it has become something much larger. Over the decades, television transformed sports. Then satellite broadcasting expanded audiences globally. Then the internet and streaming made every match available almost anywhere on Earth. Every technological leap created a new way to monetize attention. The audience grew. The money followed. And now, the World Cup has become one of the most valuable sporting properties on the planet. Industry estimates suggest the 2026 tournament could generate approximately $10 to $11 billion in revenue. That would make it the most commercially successful World Cup ever held. So where does that money come from? Let us start with the biggest source: television. Every time you turn on a World Cup match, somebody has already paid for your attention. Broadcasting rights are the financial engine of the tournament. Networks around the world compete aggressively for the right to show the games. Because live sports remain one of the few forms of content people insist on watching in real time. You can watch a movie later. You can stream a series next week. But a World Cup match happens once. Miss it, and you miss the moment. That urgency creates enormous value. Broadcasting rights are expected to generate more than $4 billion, according to industry estimates, the highest figure in World Cup history. And nowhere has the growth been more dramatic than in the United States. For decades, soccer was considered a niche sport in America. Today, Advertisers are paying prices that rival some of the most valuable broadcasts in the country. Advertising during the World Cup final commands premium rates and has become one of the most valuable television advertising opportunities in international sport billions. Think about that. A tournament once viewed as secondary in the American sports market is now attracting some of the most premium advertising dollars on earth. The World Cup did not just arrive in America. The money arrived with it. But broadcasters are only part of the story. The second river of money comes from sponsorships. Look around any stadium. Look at the advertising boards. Look at the logos that appear before, during, and after every match. Those logos are not there by accident. They are there because companies are paying enormous amounts of money for access to your attention. Companies such as Adidas, Coca-Cola, Visa, Hyundai, Qatar Airways, Budweiser, Marriott, and many others invest heavily in World Cup sponsorships. Why? Because the World Cup offers something very few events can provide: a truly global audience. For 1 month, billions of people are focused on the same event, the same goals, the same highlights, the same stories, and brands want to become part of those stories. Industry estimates suggest sponsorship revenue could reach roughly $2.4 billion. Ticket. But there is an interesting twist. Some of the most aggressive sponsors come from China. Companies such as Hisense and Mengniu have invested heavily despite significant time zone differences that make live viewing less convenient for Chinese audiences. At first glance, that seems strange. Why spend hundreds of millions sponsoring an event many customers may not even watch live? Because these companies are not simply buying advertising. They are buying recognition, global credibility, long-term brand value. For them, the World Cup is not a marketing campaign. It is a strategic investment. And that investment is measured in years, not weeks. Then comes ticketing and hospitality. And this is where things become especially interesting. Most fans think about tickets, but the biggest spending often comes from people sitting far away from the ordinary seats. Corporate hospitality has become one of the fastest-growing businesses in global sports. Luxury suites, VIP experiences, exclusive networking events, premium hospitality packages. These experiences are sold not for hundreds of dollars, but often for thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. FIFA also made a strategic decision that changed the economics of the tournament. FIFA has increasingly brought hospitality operations under arrangements that allow it to retain a larger share of the revenue. The result is simple: more money flowing directly into FIFA's accounts. Ticketing and hospitality are expected to contribute several billion dollars to FIFA's overall revenues, a massive increase compared with previous tournaments. So now we can see the picture forming. Broadcasters pay billions. Sponsors pay billions. Fans pay billions. Together, they create one of the largest revenue streams in sports history. But now we reach the most important question. Where does it all go? FIFA describes itself as a non-profit organization. That surprises many people. There are no shareholders, no dividend payments, no investors collecting profits. In theory, every dollar generated by the World Cup should ultimately support football. But the reality is more complicated. A large portion goes toward prize money. The 2026 tournament will distribute the largest prize pool in World Cup history. Participating nations receive guaranteed payments. Successful teams receive even more. The tournament is expected to feature the largest prize pool in World Cup history. Another significant portion covers operational expenses, security, broadcast infrastructure, technology, transportation, staffing, logistics. Running a World Cup is incredibly expensive. FIFA also compensates football clubs for releasing players to participate in the tournament. That compensation helps clubs manage the risks associated with injuries and player availability. And then there are development programs. Through initiatives such as FIFA Forward, funding is distributed to football associations around the world. Youth development programs, women's football initiatives, infrastructure projects, training facilities, grassroots football. This is where FIFA argues the money ultimately returns to the game. But not everyone agrees. Critics argue that too much of football's wealth remains concentrated at the top. Supporters argue that FIFA needs substantial financial reserves to ensure future stability. Both perspectives have merit. But critics often ask a difficult question. If the World Cup generates more than $10 billion, why do many football associations still struggle financially? Why do some regions continue facing major infrastructure shortages? Why does the financial gap between football's richest and poorest countries remain so large? There are no easy answers, but these questions reveal an important truth. Following the money often reveals the tensions hidden beneath the surface. And nowhere is that more apparent than in the relationship between FIFA and its host nations. Because while FIFA earns billions, hosting a World Cup is far from cheap. Governments spend heavily preparing for the tournament. Security systems must be expanded, transportation networks upgraded, public services strengthened, infrastructure improved. The costs add up quickly. Across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, billions of dollars have been committed to making this event possible. Supporters argue those investments attract tourism, boost international visibility, and create long-term economic benefits. Critics argue the benefits are often exaggerated. Economists have debated the issue for decades, and the evidence remains mixed. But one fact is difficult to ignore. Without host nations spending billions, there is no World Cup. Yet FIFA remains the organization collecting most of the direct revenue generated by the tournament. That relationship is one of the most fascinating financial arrangements in global sports, and one of the least discussed. So let us follow the trail one final time. Broadcasters pay billions for audiences. Sponsors pay billions for attention. Fans pay billions through tickets, travel, merchandise, and hospitality. Host nations spend billions creating the stage. And all those streams of money flow toward one event: the FIFA World Cup, the biggest sporting spectacle on earth, and perhaps one of the biggest business operations ever built around sport. Behind every goal is a contract. Behind every celebration is a sponsorship. Behind every stadium is an investment. And behind every World Cup is a money trail. Now you have followed it. If you enjoyed this investigation, subscribe to The Money Trail, because every week we follow a different trail, and there is always another trail waiting to be uncovered. I am The Money Trail. See you next week.